We're continuing to follow breaking news for you. President Trump says a complete and total ceasefire between Israel and Iran will take place in 24 hours. That announcement coming just hours after Iranian missiles had been launched toward an American air base in Qatar in retaliation for the U.S. bombing its nuclear sites. Congressman Mike Quigley is a part of the House Intelligence Committee. He joins us live to discuss these developments. Thank you so much, Congressman, for joining us. I know that you earlier said, especially in light of this new ceasefire, you earlier said that Donald Trump was elected to end wars, not to start new ones.
Well, look, it's a very escalatory move by the president. No one wants Iran to have a nuclear weapon. It can't have one. But let's remember how we got here. There was a peace deal in which Iran was not processing nuclear material for a bomb. That was the deal the president withdrew the United States from. So Iran went back to producing that material. Now we're hoping after this Brinksman type activity that we'll get to the same sort of deal that we had in the first place. So my concern was for the 40,000 service members and civilians who are in the Middle East, and because Iran is one of the great state forms of terrorism that they would launch against the United States. So still concerned about all those things. And quite frankly, all this was unnecessary.
Well, Congressman, why do you think it escalated to this point? I know NATO was saying, I was listening to the Israeli NATO representative saying that they walked away from the table. Iran walked away from the negotiating table. So they were forced to do this.
Yeah, well, look, the bottom line is we had a deal in the first place. Where negotiations were, they were still negotiations planned for this previous weekend. So look, will we get to a deal now? I hope so, but there's still that existing threat. And the fact of the matter is, Iran's nuclear facilities have been hit before, and they continued. So these are very mobile type of weapons, materials that they're developing. They're very difficult, very hard targets. So it's hard to imagine that the threat has been wiped out. So diplomacy was always the choice. Diplomacy will continue to be the best choice to avoid further conflict here. So look, my concern was the threat to our service members in the U.S. from what I believe was not a necessary attack if we hadn't removed ourselves from the original agreement.
So NATO says this was not a violation of international law. Over the weekend, a lot of people, officials were saying he can't do anything unless Congress intervenes or Congress makes that decision. Do you think that this was something he should not have done and consulted Congress prior to?
Well, look, the Congress hasn't declared war since 1942. It simply has to reassert its constitutional rights there. So I think that any president, and there have been Democrat and Republicans who have done it, who commits these acts without the authority and consulting with Congress is making a mistake, is violating the Constitution. So, but I think it's as much on Congress for not exerting that authority, and it should move forward with that. We can't go into these conflicts and have prolonged forever wars without Congress agreeing to it.
What happens if negotiations fall flat?
Look, if negotiations fall, we have to continue to try. The alternative is kinetic conflict. The alternative is the threat of Iran with nuclear weapons, which we can't have. So why did Iran agree to the treaty in the first place? Because they perceived real economic and military threats, and China pressured them. So I think with those kind of efforts and the fact that Iran is in a weakened state, its proxies are weakened, it gives us an opportunity now for a very real chance that they would set aside this. What are the differences? The differences are Israel didn't want Iran to have any kind of production, not even for just nuclear activities for energy in their country. That's something that was in the original deal. Can President Trump get Israel to back off on that part of it? Well, then we're back to the starting where we were in the first place when Iran was in compliance with the original JCPOA.
Well, some say this was just enough to shake them to get this taken care of, that might was needed.
Look, I would say that we didn't have to do this in the first place because we had it in the original deal. Will this push them? Will their weakened state push them into this deal? I hope so. I mean, we're very grateful for the ceasefire. We're always in favor of negotiations. If they come to a deal, great. All I'm saying is we're going to be right back where we were in the first place, and we put ourselves in this very perilous situation needlessly.
Congressman Mike Quigley, always nice to talk to you. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Take care.
You too.